Hey El,
Hi, Megha. How are you?
I'm good.
I wanted to get your name right. Do I say Mega or Mega?
It's Megha.
Mika.
Megha.
Mega.
Yes, you got it.
Mega. Okay.
Megha.
Well, I'm glad we got to talk to each other.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
so interested to hear about what you've been doing this year with families, a year unlike any other, really. So I
It
guess we'll
really
just
is.
dive in and you can
Yeah,
tell me a bit about what's been going on.
absolutely.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you're in Mumbai, right?
Yes.
And just to let people know who you are, you're the founder of Triyoke.org,
Yes, I am.
non-profit.
Triyoke.
hmm
Yes.
You're
Yes.
a family counselor and parent coach.
Correct.
Fantastic. And as we know, India has had a pretty high numbers of cases of COVID this year. How's your year been impacted?
It's been a really dystopian world since March. So around March, I don't even remember the dates, but I think it was around March 18th, roundabouts, where we were just told shut shop. Like schools shut down, everything shut down, and what started off as a 1 day curfew has continued till now.
Oh,
So our
wow.
children didn't even get a chance to go back to school and get their books, which were kept in school. So there was zero notice. So we have been operating from ebooks and in a staggered manner, getting deliveries of books because there was no intimation, no planning. It just literally happened overnight, where things stopped. Um, and no one expected it to continue this long.
Just a huge isolation for everyone.
Huge, huge. And of course, we all know that the impact that has on families, on mental health, on relationships, because again, small houses, people have been calling me and saying this house was never equipped to handle all of us at the same time. Because we have the system of joint families where you have three generations staying in the house at the same time, and not only three generations, um, siblings with their families along with the
Right.
parents and the children, and the all these families depended on a rotating system where we go to work, we go to office, we go out of the house, we're only in the home for x amount of time. And they had breakout spaces designed, whether it was going to a club, whether it was going away for weekends, whether it was whatever it was that they had into place, all of that disappeared. And it put a lot of strain on family relationships.
So tell us, you're trained in hand, you're a certified instructor. So how have those tools come in useful with parents that have come to you? You've mentioned
So
you've been working one on one and in groups, right?
yes. So mainly, I've not been able to do starter classes purely because I've just not had the time
Mm.
to put one together. And initially, it was also and it continues to be. I don't think parents have the ability to commit to a fixed time because I just think they have too much going on. So they want flexibility to be able to show up or not show up. And I don't think it's fair to hold them to a commitment
Yeah.
with distance schooling, with added house responsibilities, with generally their working responsibilities.
Mm.
It's just something that I've not felt comfortable offering.
Yeah.
Um, so what I've been doing is a lot of one-on-one work and a lot of corporate work. So when
Oh,
I've been doing work in groups, it's been 100 plus people, where companies have been asking me to come in and have a conversation on a topic with their employee base, where a lot of them tune in live and a lot of them watch the recording. So actually the reach is in thousands, each of those
wow.
uh,
And this is addressing individuals in general, or this is in, for parents, aimed at parents?
parents. So
Wow.
there are certain generic ones I'm doing, but specifically there are parenting ones, which has never happened till now, El. So for the last 4 years, I have been trying really hard to get companies to understand the value of supporting parents, because in my opinion it is the number two stress factor. So the number one being medical issues, financial and medical issues, and number two being parenting, because especially young parents who want a different kind of lifestyle for their children, and because
Right.
of the changing social dynamics in the society, uh, parents are struggling. And I've been really trying to get HR of various companies to say, come, let me do this. So last 3 4 years I've done all these sessions for free in so many companies, and now in pandemic, where money is tight, they're paying me.
Wow, isn't that crazy? Silver linings, I guess.
They're calling me, they're paying me, they're doing multiple sessions. So what that gave me an opportunity is to listen to rural India, or B tier, C tier cities, so the smaller cities of India, where a lot of the employees of these companies, a lot of them so I've been working with financial institutions. Again, completely non-traditional. I've been working with tech companies, with these large engineering IT
Wow.
companies, with financial institutions like banks, insurance companies. So a lot of the employees went back to their hometowns in this
Right.
situation. Um, to save on rent and finances, and to go back and take care of their parents. So the moment they got an opening, they went back to their hometown. So they've been dialing in to these sessions from
Right.
all over the country. And I've been using the hand in hand tools in these
Brilliant.
meetings.
Yeah.
So when they hear, so here's where the penny drops. When I tell them that your child will cry because they need to cry, and you don't always have to fix it. And that's just met with this, really?
It's okay.
I don't have to fix it. I'm not a
Oh.
bad parent,
Oh.
and it's okay. And it's been huge getting that. So that's been the number one huge thing. The number two huge thing, of course, has been sleep. So, Indian society, unfortunately, has been valuing afternoon naps
Uh-huh.
a lot, because
Uh-huh.
parents have hard, hectic work days, and they've been wanting to spend time with their children in the evenings, late into the night, and schools are starting early in the morning.
Oh.
So, because they've not been home, the children don't get their 12 hours of sleep in the night.
Right. Right.
But now that they've been home, and it's something that I've reiterated, that now you can try it, and they're seeing behavior changes in the day. And
Of
it's been like, oh my God, and I have time in the night, and my marriage isn't crumbling because we can actually talk, and my
What a
child is behaving better
breakthrough.
in the day. It's been amazing.
Wow.
Just asking parents to be able, again, the working from home strategy of breaking up their workday instead of looking at it as a 9 to 5. So 9 to 5 is your typical working
Mm.
hours in India. And instead of looking at one 9 to 5 block, I've been asking them to maybe get in at 8, work till 11, 12, take a break, tune in with your children. So giving them that flexibility, chunking their day up, where children get check-ins.
Yeah.
Again, it's transformed. They say, oh my God, I was thinking of just finishing work early, but you're telling me I don't have to finish it quickly.
Mhm.
I can take it to later and check in with them every few hours, because talking to them about connection and how it breaks. And so when I've been talking to them about, children, their limbic systems are delicate and they need connection from us. So can you break up instead of, focusing and finishing your work in this period? Give breaks every two
Connection
hours,
breaks as
3
well.
hours,
Yeah.
connection break. So I've been talking about this holy trinity of connection, which earlier used to be first thing in the morning, right after school, and just before bedtime.
Right.
But now I've been talking about it first thing in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, and after you finish work or before bedtime. And these small things have made such a big difference because the
Yeah.
kids are feeling the connection, right?
Yeah.
Again, a lot of the interactions between parent and child have been transactional. You need to do this, because there's just so much work.
Mm.
And to reiterate the importance of play and laughter,
Yeah.
and you can see the change because I feel very happy when a parent signs up for 6 sessions and doesn't call me after the third. Because not because they're doing the tools necessarily with me, because they've come to me with a problem.
Mm.
And just that little bit has made such a difference that they're not necessarily coming back immediately. You know,
Right.
those first
Right.
3 sessions are literally 2 times a week and back to back, and there's
Mm.
so much upset, so much angst, and just bringing in a little bit of the connection tools, telling the parent, reducing the guilt, listening time, listening to them cry, feel upset, feel constantly oppressed and guilty about, is this my fault? But what am I doing wrong? And
Mm.
how do I fix it? And giving them permission
Yeah.
to not have a solution. And it's
Yes,
okay.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, part of this approach that's so fundamental is that thinking your own way, right? Figuring things out for your family. But just having that framework is a black and white. You know, you're allowed to do this and that's okay. That permission, you know, can make all the difference in the world for a struggling, stressed parent, I think.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I suppose that special time has been included in this connection time. Have you heard
Yes, 100%.
anything
So
about
that's the
that?
holy trinity of connection. So I
Yeah.
ask them to alternate it between play and special time. So first thing in the morning, if possible, I ask them to get into rigorous snuggles, physical play, playing catch, running around, but focusing on laughter.
Yeah.
And maybe in the afternoon, getting in some special time. And then again in the evening, laughter and physical play. So that's how I've been trying to timetable connection. But it
Timetabling connection.
yeah, but it helps because parents want a structure. I mean, at
Yes.
least that's the cultural context we're in over here. And
Yeah.
when I tell them do this, and then they see results, because the other struggle they face is at meal times, and they're really struggling, but my child is just pushing their limits at meal times, and I'm doing this, and I'm like, yeah, because that's the button that works. You know, they're just saying, come play with me. Okay, you won't. I'm gonna throw the roti in your face. I'm not going to eat this food. And now all of a sudden, you're becoming the monkey. You're doing everything they need you to do, only now they're in control. And it's
Mm.
not working for either of you.
Yeah.
So when we bring in connection before meal times, poof, their mealtime struggles are gone.
Oh,
You
I
know?
love it. I love it. You know, I think that the one COVID undoubtedly has brought so much distress and hardship and challenge. But when you hear about the grace that has been given to parents sometimes, you know, when they have their work in support of them and their family, or when the parent is given permission, you know, to play, and you suddenly realize that there are little pockets of brightness and connection, and you need to hold on to those, right?
Yes, you do. I mean, they're really few and far in between. And but I'm feeling good sharing this with you because, amongst all the other issues, I'm sorry about the noise. I have construction work
Yeah.
happening outside my house in the midst of COVID. So they
Of
don't have
course.
any social distancing issue. The government. Anyway, um, it's it's a shit show. And it's really bad. And the fact is that there's so much, we've gone back 2 decades. by many estimates,
Mm,
in terms of women's rights, in terms of education, in terms of development. So there's a lot that's become really bad. But yes, we're getting an opportunity to revisit, reassess, and
mm,
undo a little bit of the systemic things which were toxic,
absolutely.
specifically in this parenting space, because now parents don't have an option but to address the needs of their children.
Right.
Because for very long it's been, okay, somebody else is going to take care of it, something else will do it, or I'll just, and that's another thing I spoke about. So a lot of parents have found diagnosis like autism or ADHD because they're there and they're
You
seeing this
see it.
behavior. So the urban population that I work with, they've noticed a lot of children were just being shuttled from place to place. So they weren't in one place. So they'd finish school, they'd go in for a class, they'd go in for a play date, they'd barely come home to eat a meal, read a book, go to sleep.
Mm. And start again the
Now,
next.
and start again the next day. And even weekends were this packed. And now with this pandemic and people being home, parents are getting to observe, parents are getting to see. And I've had so many calls of people recognizing sensory challenges, all sorts of finer things which were getting missed. And to me, that's great because now children are getting supported better.
Yeah.
They're being given the right tools to be able to function in
Mm.
their
Absolutely.
social interactions.
And what's your hope, for the next few months and going forward? What would you like to do?
So I have been toying with the idea of doing another starter class. I'm still not sure. I'm just not ready to ask parents to commit.
Absolutely. It's not that time right
And
now.
it's my thing. I'm not ready to. It's much more easy for me to spread the tool to multiple people at the same time. I've kept my
Yeah.
price points for my one-on-ones really reasonable so that it's accessible. I've not increased any costs. I've had to work on a lot of limits to be able to manage my own family, and
Yes.
because I'm also in the pandemic.
Right.
I'm also,
Absolutely.
and that's where the hand in hand tools have helped me individually
Right.
to so even now I started a support group for everyone who's previously done their starter classes with me. So every week, that's what I have in 10 minutes. I've just been creating this space, it's for free. And they're able to log in and use listening time.
Excellent.
And it's been so helpful for me because so many people ask me, but how are you listening to people's problems? You're also dealing with them.
Exactly.
And it's the tools, pure and simple. It's the tools in my house. Stopping a meeting, whether it's school or whether I'm in a meeting to ask for a hug, is allowed.
It's okay.
It's okay. It
Yay.
trumps
Yeah.
whatever is going on. And that's a culture. I don't hug my parents. I don't remember the last time I hugged my parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's pure hand in hand. Like I keep looking at my children and the comfort with which they say, I need a hug. And I say, oh, I can't ask that. But I created
Oh.
this.
Oh, you did. You created it and you've created so much for so many now. I just think it's beautiful hearing about those support calls and
Thank you, Well.
giving parents that opportunity and then bringing it on such a large scale. Just to have those people dialing in and hearing this. It's
Yeah.
very inspirational.
Yeah.
If parents or other HR companies want to get in contact with you, what's the best way to do it?
So talks, TALKS at Triyoke, TRIYOKE.org. So that's my email ID, and they're welcome to get in touch with me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Thank you.
Thanks, Elle.